Hello and welcome to our channel. Thank you very much. Thank each of you for tuning in, listening to the Dhamma, taking time in your life to consider the Dhamma, investigate the Dhamma. I'm confident you are bound to be successful. Today's topic is actually a three-part talk again. It's going to be entitled Thinking. And the next two parts will be listening and doubting. But today's talk is about thinking. There's a there's a word in the Pali language that is used for this process. It's called Saṅkhāra. This thinking is an essential process in consciousness. Without it, we're not going to be conscious. So let's look at some vocabulary, some synonyms for what this thinking looks like. It's conceptual proliferations, it's mental noise, it's an internal dialogue, it's mostly about obsessive self-reference. In other words, much of our thinking, if not all of it, has something to do with our belief and being a self, and this thinking reinforces that delusion. It usually has a disturbing amount of pride or craving, desires built into it. Thinking merely reacts to and follows our moods, and they carry on with no end in sight. This thinking is proliferating, constructing, fabricating, imagining, are all forms that it takes, and there's really no limit to this if we don't catch it with our mindfulness and put a stop to it as soon as possible. It's our defiled emotions. We're going to talk a little more about this in a moment. Thinking always has an emotional component. And when they're defiled, that is, when they're angry and full of hatred and revenge and remorse, etc., all kinds of ill will, we'll find ourselves experiencing excessive thinking. Once the emotions start ruling our thinking, the thinking really gets out of control. We have to remember that thinking and wisdom are two very different things. When we get educated, that's from the time of our birth, how we get educated in our family environment, and then in our school systems, etc. Ideally, we should be, or would be nice if we were taught how to think, but in most situations, we're taught what to think. And this is true both in our homes and in our formal education. Thoughts arise in consciousness because we create an environment for them. We have to recognize these thoughts are self-created in so much as we have created an environment for them to prosper. Here's a quote from Ajahn Mahabua. He says, "When we see the truth, our thinking and our imagination will disappear because our thinking and our imagination are fake. What we have studied is also fake." Some other words or some other synonyms that might be useful when we're thinking about these Saṅkhāras or when we're considering this teaching of the Buddha is volitional formations. That means we intend to do it. Karmic formations, those are a little more out of our control. We concoct, we compose, we fabricate, we embellish, and this is in regard to all conditioned things. Remember, conditioned things are anything that is in the universe, and we have these thoughts in relation to the experiences we have through the six sense doors. Saṅkhāras then are the forces or the factors that fashion things, physical and mental. It's the process of fashioning or fabricating. Thought formations are in the mind. However, we can't live without them. We're going to need to use them. We're going to need to use our mindfulness to watch how they arise and pass away. And we're going to have to use our mindfulness to distinguish what is wholesome and unwholesome, what is practical and useful in the practice of our Dhamma, what is even essential in the practice. We're not being told to never think. We're told to be aware of this process and how there's no end to it unless we put an end to it by using our mindfulness. But for the purposes of this talk, we're trying to recognize that this process is one that the mind has. It has this creative ability, and it constantly, compulsively, obsessively, and relentlessly thinks about vice and virtue, past and future, all kinds of imaginations, recollections, expectations, and there is no end, absolutely no end to this process if our mindfulness isn't awake and puts an end to it. Now, I mentioned that all thinking has an emotional component. Thinking arises as a result of memory or perception. So anything that arises through the six sense doors has an emotional component to it. So this emotion is based on our memories and our perceptions, and it joins together with our ability to have these creative thoughts, create thoughts, and we become mesmerized by these thoughts that arise in consciousness. Mesmerized is a very valuable word. It comes from a man named Mr. Mesmer, who more or less discovered the ability to be hypnotized. So in this case, we get hypnotized by the thoughts that arise in consciousness, and we get carried away with them. This being carried away means we cling to them, we become involved with them, we cherish them, value them, and we have to remember that birth and death are both formed in this clinging to and this cherishing of various thoughts. Ultimately, any thought we have, even if it's a thought of the Dhamma, is a disturbance to our real peace, our real tranquility, our real equanimity. So we can say all thoughts disturb the truth or nibbana, but as a process of practicing Dhamma, there are thoughts that we must distinguish from as wholesome and unwholesome, useful and helpful in the practice of Dhamma, and those which do nothing but lead us astray. Okay, thank you. Thank you for reaching the end of this short talk. The next talk will be about listening. If you have questions, if you'd like to reach out with comments, suggestions for future talks, any way that we might improve the channel and make it more useful, we welcome them. Thank you.